Hello guys and welcome back to another episode of our FC26 career mode here with Burnley. We are back today, third episode of season 5, and we're going to be diving straight into the action today. Our first ever game with Burnley in the Champions League as we take on Dynamo Zagreb at home at Turf Moor. We'll also have more big games in the Premier League where we've made a pretty decent start with 3 wins in our opening 4 games, and also the third round of the League Cup, our trophy defence this year, as we look to try and win it back to back. But a tough game to kick off with in the third round against Newcastle United. So that will come shortly, but as I say, kicking off in the Champions League, the first time in the club's history, and I'm looking for 3 points on match day 1 against the Croatian side Zagreb. Come on you Clarets. Yeah, really looking forward to this game here. There's a great atmosphere at Turf Moor as well, and it's always a big achievement when you play in your first European and in particular first Champions League game in an RTG career mode. So really looking forward to this and just hoping we can get off to a good start. I've got a strong team out there today, and I do feel as if we will be favourites, but Dynamo Zagreb have a little bit more Champions League experience than us, so it's going to be interesting to see how we cope under the lights here at Turf Moor. Corner for Zagreb, header comes in and Florentino off the line. Not the first time throughout the course of this save we have seen him do that. Great defensive awareness, and Zagreb showing that they're not just going to come here today and roll over. They're coming for 3 points as Burke does well. Slides it through to Rodgers. There's Jorgen. Takes the ball beautifully, and it's a magnificent save by the Zagreb keeper to deny Jorgen. End-to-end game here at Turf Moor, and could easily have been a goal at either end. Scott, good pressing, wins it back. He's got Gabriel Peck in the middle and Damien Burke inside him as well. Instead, we'll just keep hold of the ball and goes back to Yuri Riga, one of the players in the squad who does have Champions League experience, none more than Nuno Mendes, who gets the assist for the opening goal, and it's the Brazilian Gabriel Peck who gets it. Obviously, Amari Hutchinson still down injured once again. He's missed so much football over the last year or so, but both Marcus Edwards and Gabriel Peck, who have stepped up in his absence, have been absolutely fantastic. Burnley lead here at Turf Moor, and we're on course for a brilliant start to our Champions League campaign. Yeah, not long to play here. Zagreb staying in the game, but not really causing too many issues. And as Morgan Rodgers sent away down the left-hand side, comes infield. Defender's done well to stick with him, and Baleba will slow it down. Jorgen finds Morgan Rodgers again, and Alex Scott to Baleba, and Gabriel Peck to bend one. It's a brilliant finish, and maybe the keeper should have done better, but it was patient from Burnley, and Gabriel Peck bends home his second of the evening, and that now should be the points in the bag for the Clarets. Yep, there is the whistle, and it is a win on match day 1 of the Champions League for Burnley. Of course, earlier on in the season when we defeated Real Madrid in the Super Cup, I said it's going to be a challenge in the Champions League. And I think Dynamo Zagreb proved that tonight. Really stubborn, difficult to break down. And the only real chances of the game fell to Gabriel Peck, and he took both of them to give us all 3 points on match day 1. The perfect start to our Champions League campaign, but I'm sure we're going to have some trickier tests along the way. Right, jumping back to Premier League action, it is match day 5 of the league campaign. Taking on Wolves at home at Turf Moor, a side that we've got a good record against over recent seasons, and we should be looking to extend our winning run here. Come on you Clarets. Yeah, I'll be honest, this Wolves side isn't the greatest. They've got Ahmad out wide, and the big man Tolu does often cause me some issues up top, but beyond that, they've not got a huge amount, so I'm feeling pretty confident that we can get the job done today. But as Tolu spins, he does force a save out of Trafford, and as I say, he's caused me issues in the past. I think he's scored in our last 2 games against Wolves, so expecting him to cause me some issues again today as Morgan Rodgers steps infield and finds Jorgen. Now Baleba into Marcus Edwards wouldn't really open up for either of them. And we will just keep recycling until we get a better opening, as Alex Scott's shot is deflected wide and could have gone anywhere. Well, Wolves have settled pretty well in this opening half an hour. And Tommy Doyle has it and now finds Ahmad into Tolu. Nice football. Gomez shoots and it's off the woodwork. And I think it might have potentially taken a nick off Tolu on the way through. Again, the big number 14 causing me some issues, and we're lucky that it's still goalless. Yeah, we've not really created much against this Wolves back three. We're still deadlocked at 0-0 as we enter the second half. Not panicking just yet. Still loads of time to find that breakthrough. But I'd say Wolves have probably looked more likely to do so in that opening 45 minutes. And this is one of the challenges of balancing Champions League and Premier League and Cup football. As that's beautifully worked and Rodgers couldn't take it in his stride. You've got big games in midweek, and it's difficult, as I say, to try and balance. Thankfully, with the way FC works this year, is you don't get too much fatigue. So normally you can sort of keep the same players in and out and don't have to rotate too much. But at the moment, even with our full strength team, we're struggling to find that breakthrough. Ahmad for Wolves. Nuno Mendes has come across with him. We've got 2v1 out on this left-hand side, and Jackson's got a bit of defending to do here. Joao Gomez into Tolu, spins, and the rebound turned in by Ruiz, and it has been coming as well. Just before the hour mark, Wolves break the deadlock, and as I say, it's been coming. We've got to sort this out in the final half hour. Oh, that's given to Morgan. Great opportunity here. Damien Burke rolled through. Damien Burke from the angle denied. As a maybe should have tried to roll it into Jorgen in the middle, but Damien Burke making a difference off the bench as Morgan Rogers' corner is headed away at the near post, but we will keep it alive. Gabriel, oh, it's lovely football. Nuno Mendes just couldn't get his shot away on the stretch, but we're getting closer. As Maxime, as Scott stays down. Not another injury for Burnley. As Baleba rolls through Morgan Rogers, who does bend home the equaliser. And as I said, it has been coming. Morgan gets his first in claret and blue. And we're back on level terms. But Alex Scott staying down there is another injury concern. Oh, Damien, great press. Can we turn this around now? Burke lifts it for Jorgen, almost straight from kickoff. Jorgen does really well and couldn't pull the trigger as Prass wins his header. I tell you what, Damien Burke's made a difference today, and he's on the move. Damien Burke on a plate for Jorgen. And we have completed the turnaround. And of course it's Strand Larsen against his former club. He always nets against them. I think that is now potentially 3 or maybe 4 of his last appearances he's netted against his former club. But I tell you what, Damien Burke has made a huge difference in that number 10 role today. Turnaround complete. Now can we hold on to the 3 points? It looks as if that's going to do it, as we will just hold on to the ball for the final few moments. Maybe one final chance as Morgan Rogers steps away from his man. And Morgan pulls it back for Jorgen. And this time he is going to celebrate. And I say it all the time about Jorgen Strand Larsen. He was quiet in the opening 70 minutes. I could have easily subbed him off, but I stuck with him because I know he always gets his goal. It's now 5 in 5 for the big Norwegian. There were question marks over his future in the summer. There was a big bid from Arsenal, but Jorgen said, no, I'm staying. I'm proving myself as the main man. And that is exactly what he is doing here in his 4th season at the club. 5 goals in as many games and another 3 points for Burnley as we will head into our next fixture against Newcastle. League Cup 3rd round, so as you guys will remember from last year, in the League Cup we always fully rotate. It will be the backup brigade, and if we go out in the 3rd round or lose it in the final, it will still be the backup brigade, as this is my lowest priority. So a tough fixture against Newcastle, but I'm hoping the backup boys can get us through. Come on, you Clarets. And the backup brigade showed last year how good they can be defensively as Benzai, what a pass that is, into Rudoni, across the box for Zeki, and he's not going to get the assist, Benzai. But that is why I wanted to keep him at the club. He's a great young talent, and it's so difficult to squeeze everyone into the lineup. We've got Benzai and Damien Burke, who both want to play in the number 10. Jack Rudoni, who of course naturally is a 10. He's having to be squeezed out to the right-hand side. And we've got the likes of Marcus Edwards and Koleosho, who are more squad players, having to take a seat on the bench still. But it's Zeki Amdouni who opens the scoring in what's been a pretty tight opening 35 minutes. But the backup brigade are at it again. They're just trying to stay defensively resolute here. As Yuri has it down the right-hand side. There's Rudoni. Nice ball into Armando Broja. And Benzai, can he get away? Benzai does well to hold on to it, and I'm not going to force it. I'm not going to force it. It might be a little bit cheap, and we've still got over 5 minutes to play, but if it's not on, I'm not going to force it as Joelinton wins it back. And the Magpies may have one final chance as Danny Ceballos finds Bruno Guimaraes. Space for Joelinton. Bashir Humphreys has to engage. And now it's out to Anthony, the Brazilian, up against Pras. And the ball played inside. Nicely worked. Oh, what a save, Max Weiss. That could be huge from the German, as that, I think, is going to do it. And he does keep his clean sheet intact. He's the king of cup clean sheets, as he does it once again. I thought that was going to be the late equaliser for Newcastle, but Max Weiss with a brilliant save to deny them. And it will be Burnley heading through to the fourth round as we look to defend our Carabao Cup. Zeki Amdouni's goal will send us through, and we'll go and find out who we're going to face in the fourth round. Yeah, I'm absolutely loving the League Cup as a little side quest each season now. And in the fourth round of our trophy defence, we will be taking on Accrington Stanley. Who are they? As there's a couple of big ties in there. Spurs taking on Brentford, Liverpool away at Crystal Palace. You'd expect Chelsea and City to get through, but Arsenal already knocked out. And again, a great chance to reach the fifth round at home to League 2 Accrington Stanley. But yeah, we'll just jump into our next game then. 4 wins from 5 in the Premier League, through to the fourth round of the League Cup. And of course, 1 win out of 1 game in the Champions League as well. Taking on Nottingham Forest in our next fixture. They currently sit second from bottom in the Premier League with just 1 point in their opening 5 games. Only 3 goals scored and 11 conceded is the second worst defence in the Premier League so far this season. So a great opportunity for another 3 points here and a chance to move top. Come on, you Clarets. Throwing for Forest here. They've had a lot of the ball in these early stages. There's Elliot Anderson. What a player he is, by the way. Another great performance for England in midweek. And I'm surprised he's still at Forest in the save. No disrespect, but he's definitely good enough to be playing at one of the top clubs in England, or even in the world, to be honest. As Morgan Rogers. Oh, that's lovely. Morgan Rogers from the angle. It's off the woodwork. How close was Morgan Rogers? And he's had a great start to life in claret and blue as Marcus Edwards, one of the OGs. Speaking of Morgan Rogers, a new man in claret and blue, Marcus Edwards has been here since the start of the save, and he is still ripping it up for Burnley. A brilliant little spin to get away from Milenkovic. Quick 1-2 with Jorgen, who turns provider this time. And Marcus Edwards with a crisp finish gives us the lead, and it's been coming as well. Morgan went close not too long ago, and now we have our breakthrough against a struggling Forest side. The one-way traffic at the moment. Second goal feels as if it's coming as Edwards finds Baleba, and we're slicing through Forest with ease. Rogers, quick 1-2. Morgan Rogers, shot saved by Karnasechi and cleared up to Brobby, but he is so isolated up there. it just feels like a matter of time if we can find that opening. Forest might be saved by the half-time interval though, as Jorgen looks for Edwards again, and Forest will survive, but it is all one-way pressure at the moment, and I'm sure that those home supporters will be glad to hear the half-time whistle. Anderson into Robbie. Oh, great lead by Bakwa. I was just about to appeal for offside, but the Frenchman left it for the overlapping fullback, and now Dan and Doy. Nice football this from Forest. Sangare into Robbie, and Anderson off the post. Anderson starting to get on the ball and dictate, as he does for England in real life. Now starting to see it in this second half, but here we come on the break. Edwards just runs into trouble, and that momentum that we saw at the end of the first half has now completely swung as Bakwa tried to get in behind. And to be honest, we could really do with a second goal here because we are struggling. And now Nuno Mendes forward to Rodgers again. He's got Benzai in the middle. Lovely skill from Benzai. Gets his shot away straight down the throat of Carnesecchi. But that was a really good break from Burnley, and it's given straight back to us from the Italian. Morgan does well. And now it's Banzuzi. And now it's Morgan Rodgers. And Benzai. Oh, the flag's up to deny him. Would have been his first Premier League and first senior goal for the Clarets, but he just strayed too far ahead of play, and it's the right decision. He's definitely offside. Well, this is surely it for Forest. Elliot Anderson, if we can force him backwards here, that might be enough. Still Elliot Anderson. Benzai doing enough. Still we play. Cross comes in deep. Jackson wins the header, and Benzai will clear, and that is going to do it. It's another clean sheet for Burnley, which we found hard to come by in the opening few games of the season, but they're starting to pile up a little bit now. I think that is 3 or potentially 4 in a row, or maybe even 5. Much better from Burnley, and it's another win that could see us return to the top of the table. Great game that. And as we jump into our next game, it is match day 2 of the Champions League. Again, another winnable fixture, which could see us go 2 from 2 in the Champions League. I say winnable, but a really tough place to visit in real life, as we take on Bodo Glimt away from home. We saw Tottenham have trouble here in real life, going 2 goals down earlier on in the campaign, but I'm hoping Burnley are going to have better luck here today. Come on, you Clarets. Yeah, sorry guys, I was actually wrong about our clean sheet streak. It's only 3 games, I believe. Oh, that's brilliant. And Jorgen is going to put it on a plate for Banzuzi. Unselfish from our number 9. And Ezekiel gets his first goal of the campaign. But we did concede against Wolves a couple of games ago. Obviously, we went a goal down. So I think it is 3 clean sheets in a row. Newcastle... Hang on, let me check. Yeah, Newcastle... Oh, no, 2. Newcastle and Forest. Just 2 clean sheets in a row. But still, we've been really good defensively this season. And we're off the mark here in the Champions League once again. Oh, Baleba does well. No, 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 no. I'm not even sure it was a foul, to be honest, but now Baleba hits the deck, man. These injuries... What has happened to VA? Has there been a patch that I'm unaware of, and that's why we're getting more injuries? Because, to be fair, that's a good thing if it has happened. But if so, I need to down the injury sliders, because mine is still set at something crazy like 95, and that is another injury for us as Baleba goes down. I'm hoping that's not going to be anything serious, because he was one of our big summer signings. The corner to Jaden. I'm sure he would love a goal tonight. Nuno fires it forward to Jaden. Back to Nuno Mendes. Swings in an early cross. Jorgen, it's wonderful, but the flag goes up and denies him of a magnificent, magnificent goal. That would have been glorious. What a delicious cross that was from Nuno Mendes as well, down this left-hand side. And now here we come again down this left side. Jaden Philogene As Nuno in support again. And Jorgen's in the middle again. And he's gone for it again. And this time, he is not going to be denied. A carbon copy of the one that was ruled out a few moments ago. But Jorgen has his first goal in the Champions League. Oh, Banzuzi. Great work. Now Yuri, who's been moved to left-hand side, lifts it for Luca. A chance for a third here. Luca. Oh, it's going to come for Damien Burke, who must score and does get his first Champions League goal. Not quite how I drew it up, which happens quite a lot. But Damien Burke does get his first ever Champions League goal. He was brilliant in the Europa League for us last year. Really made the competition his own. And this is a strange camera angle, but he does get his first ever Champions League goal. Lovely roulette inside and a great finish into the top corner. But I think that is going to do it, guys. We'll jump into our penultimate game of today's episode as we take on newly promoted Coventry City, currently sat rock bottom in the Premier League, and a great chance to extend our lead at the top. So looking for another win. Come on, you Clarets. Oh, hello. That's an interesting kickoff routine from Coventry. How many times do we see that in real life? I think PSG were the ones that started that sort of kickoff trend where you just kind of box the team in. But I was just going to say from kickoff, Coventry are a team that I would really like to use at some point. Got lovely kits. I believe their real life stadium is in the game. Obviously, Frank Lampard absolutely cooking with Coventry at the moment. And yeah, we've had a bit of a link to them in this save. Obviously, Jack Rudoni signed from Coventry. We sent Benzai out on loan to the Rico for 2 years. So, Trafford, you going to come for that, bro? Oh, Scott does well to get something in the way. And Coventry, who are sat rock bottom at the moment, putting up a bit of a fight here as Benzai tries to catch out the keeper. That's good football. Really good football. Now Mason Clark. Lovely football. Big save, Trafford. Oh, it's not cleared. And Coventry City take the lead at Turf Moor. Yeah, nobody really reacting to that loose ball there. And perhaps missing Carlos Baleba, who you probably will have seen is down for the next 4 weeks with that injury he picked up in the Champions League. So probably will miss him in the heart of that midfield. We could always, and I might look to do so, we could always put Florentino in there in the short term and bring Ben Ball in at centre-back, which is something I might do in the future. I didn't think I'd need to today, as I thought this would be a comfortable one and we'd have a lot of the ball. So I went for Banzuzi in the heart of midfield. But so far, we are really struggling as Marcus Edwards sent away. Can he get infield? Yes, he can. Can he finish? No, he's denied by a brilliant save. Scott finds Benzai. Now Jorgen into Morgan Rogers. Looking for the 1-2. Defender did well. Morgan's still on the press. Oh, my goodness. Oh, dearie me. Oh, what on earth has happened there? And as the defender passes it back, he kind of takes the ball on the half turn, opens his body up, but gets caught on the post. And his touch takes it into the net. He kicks the post instead of the ball. And Burnley have an absolute gift from the goalkeeper. That is the craziest own goal I think I've ever seen in FC. Yeah, I can't really believe that own goal. And the goal that we conceded was pretty cheap from a defensive point of view. But as a manager, you can't really... There's nothing you can do about that. You can set the team up all you want. But when it's an individual error like that, as that's beautifully worked and Benzai wouldn't quite open up for him, and Morgan Rogers didn't catch hold of it as we look to turn the game on its head. But yeah, there's nothing you can do about that as a manager, man. Victor Torp, ball slid through. Florentino's not got there and then makes a brilliant recovery. We mentioned when we moved him to centre-back about a little bit of a lack of pace, but He did really well to recover there, and now Nuno Mendes can storm away down the left-hand side, and we know that he's got the pace. Still Nuno Mendes looked to chop the ball inside and couldn't get away, but this game is seriously opening up now. Oh, lovely football from Coventry, and they might have just won it. And it's been an open second half. I said anyone could win it. And Victor Torp may have just given them their first victory of the season. If you're going to win a championship, you've got to win your home games, especially against the sides at the bottom of the table. This just isn't good enough. But this is it if we want to get back into this game, as Morgan Rogers out wide to Jaden Philogene off the bench. Rogers is inside. It's lovely football, and Jorgen to rescue a point has done just that. With practically the last kick of the game. It's still a disappointing result from a Burnley perspective. Got to be targeting all 3 points here, but at least we have rescued something. Coventry's wait for their first Premier League win will go on, but at least, as I say, we have rescued a point late on. Brilliant finish by Jorgen on the left foot. But I'm still disappointed with the outcome. Right, well, I'm not ending on that. We will close out with one more. There's been some brilliant games today. But we will take on Leeds away at Elland Road to close out today's episode. Looking to close out with 3 points after a disappointing result against Coventry. Come on, you Claras. Yeah, I didn't like how open we were in the previous game, so I have move Florentino back into midfield, and Ben Ball steps in at centre-back, but I'm hoping that'll make us a little bit more solid, as Morgan Rogers does brilliantly well. Still Morgan Rogers, oh, that's a brilliant goal, stepping in from the left-hand side and clipping it in off the post, does the iconic Cole Palmer celebration, which I know there's been rumours that he actually invented Morgan Rogers, not Cole Palmer, but of course Cole Palmer has now trademarked that. But regardless of that, it's a wonderful goal, beats the keeper into that far corner, and Morgan Rogers with his second goal of the campaign gets us off the mark here at Elland Road. Yeah, I do feel a lot more stable with Florentino in that midfield, and I think the balance is just a lot better with a proper holding midfielder in there. So I think whilst Baleba is down injured, it's a lovely move, and Nuno Mendes cross deflected, Jorgen loops it over the top. But I think whilst Baleba is down injured, I am going to stick with Florentino back in that holding role, and Ben Ball will slot in at centre-back. We're 22 minutes away from another clean sheet on the road here, and Ben Ball's been pretty solid in that back line. But we are into the final few moments, and it looks as if we are going to see this out, as Nuno slips it through to Jaden Philogene. I'd really love to get him his first goal of the season. Jaden denied by Falcone, but I think that is going to do it, as it's not been the greatest of games, but it does look as if we are going to see it out here at Elland Road. A nice way to close out the episode, back to winning ways after that disappointing result against Coventry, but still just one defeat on the board in our opening 8 games, as we look to keep pace with Man City and Arsenal at the top. 2 wins from 2 in the Champions League phase, and through to the 4th round of the League Cup, which will come in the next episode. So guys, I hope you have enjoyed. We'll be back with the next one, where again we will continue on with the early stages of the campaign and look to continue what has been a fantastic start to the season. Take care guys, and peace.